All right, everybody. Welcome to the Gaming Society Week 8. Almost a bye. We don't get bye weeks here at the Gaming Society. It's halfway through the season. That's Michael Vick with the red hat and the PSG shirt.
Dave.
I'm Dave Anderson rocking a collared shirt, and that's where I want to start this week. Mike is rocking a PSG shirt. Now, we talked about this at the cover show. You said it was a Jordan shirt. You don't really know who Paris Saint-Germain is, do you?
Nope. I'm going to be honest.
Here's what I love about this. If Michael Vick grew up playing soccer, you would have been better than Neymar. Like, that is a debate.
So?
That is a debate that I get in with every single person in Europe. I was like, hey, I was a world-class football player. I was in the NFL. I was the best of the best. And I couldn't scratch some of the most athletic humans on the planet in terms of not on the planet, in terms of the NFL.
Right.
Terrell Owens in goal. We could have had Barry Sanders playing forward. We could have Ray Lewis playing defense for our men's national team. We could have let's put Kevin Garnett in goal, 7 feet, jumping all over, blocking every shot. Like, I just want you to know that you are rocking one of the premier teams in European football. And what you don't know is that Jordan logo right there replaces the Eiffel Tower. They normally have a red Eiffel Tower that obviously kind of looks like the Jordan jump. So it's a legitimate shirt. Yeah. And one of these days, the Gaming Society will need to go on a road show. We'll go to a PSG game. They got Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe out there. So you got to maybe we'll do Gaming Society European football show. But this is the American
shout
football
out to Messi,
show.
shout out to Neymar. True athletes, man. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the difference between an athlete and being athletic. And you naming that list, you named all our athletes, man. We're in the league of our own.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But we won't spend. We're not going to waste our entire show talking European football. We're going to talk American football, and we always like to start with our all-in bets. Our all-in bets. I got my teeth kicked in last week. You won. You picked Green Bay minus 9.5. How much of that game did you see? Did you see the whooping Green Bay put on them boys?
No, but I tracked it throughout the scoreboard, and I seen everything that was happening. I knew it was just a matter of time. The game was real close. I think it might have been 7-7 for about 2 quarters. And then Green Bay somehow, some way took off. Yeah,
I think you better than anyone has a sense of when a quarterback hits their rhythm. We were talking about that last week. That's what made you bet on Green Bay, and the all-in bet is the rhythm that the quarterbacks are in. You can tell. You can almost you're like a bee smelling fear. You can smell the fear that they're putting in the defense. You've got a good idea. I, on the other hand, completely shit the bed there with San Francisco blowing it on Monday Night Football.
Oh man!
Oh, not Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night.
The rain obviously didn't help, but I thought they were going to come back after a bye. If there's anything I thought Shanahan always did really well, it's freshen the team up and understand where they're at after a bye week. But I couldn't have been more wrong. So I'm 2-1. Mike Vick is 2-1. We don't pick our all-ins till we get to listen to each other at the end of this show. But listen at the end of the show for week 8's all-in bet. But we're gonna recap week 7. And there's one team that I think has really stood out to me the last 3 weeks that we haven't even mentioned. We haven't been giving them any love. No one has been giving them any love, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's showing up, coming off an ACL tear, playing his butt off, and Jamar Chase is looking like one of the best NFL wide receivers out there. Why isn't this team getting any love?
Well, I got to say this first. On the kickoff show, Fox Sundays, shout out to the team on Fox Sundays. Shout out to Fox, man. I said that Cincinnati wouldn't beat the Ravens for whatever reason. I said it. A couple reasons. I think I highlighted the defense and what they did to Justin Herbert. And I got to give respect to the Cincinnati Bengals. And like you said, nobody's giving them the respect that they deserve, but respect is earned, not given. And I think last week they earned it. So shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals. Shout out to Zach Taylor, I think, for implementing the plan and getting the players to buy into it and believe in it. And that's where it all starts. And it started with the quarterback position and extended to, the entire team and the organization abroad. So I'm happy for this team, man. It's good to see some new blood.
Yeah, 5-2 team at the top of the AFC. What is that? North up there, in a very tough division. The thing that I find most interesting is when this season first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Ravens," and then within the first couple of weeks, it was all the Browns under the new team, and then it was like, "Oh, don't forget about the Steelers," and then now finally it takes 8 weeks, they're like, "Oh, it's going to be the Bengals." But I'm curious to see, like, is this going to rotate again? Right? They don't hand out trophies in late October. You got plenty of game left. It'll be interesting to see once they start getting in the heat of the AFC North, as those teams start beating each other, what exactly happens. Because something we talked about probably 4 weeks ago was when you're playing a division opponent, what that means, what's going to happen. Cincinnati had a big win against Baltimore, but definitely got to give some love out there. Cincinnati opened to win the AFC Championship game plus 3,400. So if you put $100 on Cincinnati in the beginning of the year just to win the AFC Championship game, not the Super Bowl, you win a cool 3,400.
Yeah,
we should have done that.
Bad bet.
Not a bad bet. But this is, we got our newsletters, intriguing matchups of the week. The one we're going to start with is intriguing because we would have thought this would have been a blowout game. These are two teams that I guess are searching for an identity. We thought one of these teams had one, but the Giants at the Chiefs. Can you tell me about Mahomes? Like, a quarterback like this, you're exactly like him in a lot of ways. You come back, have MVP type seasons, you're dominating the league, everyone's talking about you. Now here comes the bad side about that. Everyone's paying attention to you. Everyone's game planning for you. What is happening to Mahomes this year?
Yeah, well, automatically, Dave, things are going to morph into becoming tougher. And, you know, the game is going to get more rigorous the longer you play, the longer you have success. You just said it. Teams are going to gun for you. They want to shut you down. They want to take away Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and create pressure. And in time, teams started to figure out what are the weaknesses, how do we attack them? And I think for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is not getting a lot of time. Let's just start with everything that's going on up front. And I think it extended to the Super Bowl, started from the Super Bowl and extended to now,
Yeah.
So if you think about the last 5 or 6 games or the games in which they played this season, he's just been under duress, no time to throw. And I'm not making any excuse for Patrick. You know, he's trying to overcompensate. He's trying to do a lot. And in cases, he's trying to do too much. So I think for this team, offensively and defensively, and didn't even speak about the defense, that'll be stating the obvious. We've been talking about that for weeks. They just got to clean it up, get back to playing basic football, and back to the fundamentals. Big test against the Giants, who playing with a lot of confidence.
Do you remember a time in your career or a game where you're like, damn, that used to be easy, or I used to be able to do that all the time and now I can't? Is there a teamer that took away a type of play or something that you did?
It was the Carolina Panthers. When I was with Atlanta, we used to run this bootleg. I'm not going to confuse the viewers or the fans right now watching. It was just a simple bootleg, but I used to get out the back door, and I'm talking, it was 10 yards a pop on a bootleg, whether I was throwing it or whether I was running it, and they couldn't stop it. In 2006,
not even with Peppers?
Not even with Peppers. We played a game with him. We kind of stayed away from him.
Yeah.
Peppers on the right, boot left. Peppers on the left, boot right. Yeah, don't run into the trouble.
Yeah, okay.
Run away from it. But then they go get Thomas Davis and play Julius Peppers on the right and Thomas Davis, will linebacker for the left side boot. Couldn't do it no more. They ended up beating us, I think, twice that year in 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
They took away one of your good play. Literally drafted a guy just for that. Hey,
no doubt. I hated that too.
It's funny. You often see that in basketball where they build a team. You remember, like the Rockets, we built this team to beat the Warriors, or someone that builds a team to beat the Lakers. It's tough to do that in the NFL, but I guess you can in a couple different positions. You can with the Panthers building to beat Michael Vick. That's funny.
Yep.
And I guess a lot of these teams, think they're going to chase Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes for a while. They got to build a team to beat them. They got to structure their defense, which is, I think, what you're actually saying, to beat them. Put guys in positions that they are just, because of where they're standing, they're going to take away certain plays. They don't have to even move around that much, but that's really interesting. Kansas City, originally, well, not Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes had the fourth highest odds to finish with the most INTs in the regular season. So we're gonna get into what our betting academy, but this would classify, and what we're gonna teach you is who you could bet on to throw the most interceptions. He started with the fourth highest, behind Sam Darnold. Looks like he might set a new record with how many picks he's thrown. So you might want to pay attention to Patrick Mahomes, what he's doing, get in there on one of these bets and throw something down on INT record. Because just like I've seen it, once it starts, it's hard to stop. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about interceptions, but like they're hard to shake.
Yeah, man. And one thing I did in my career, I was so like privy on, look, I know that it can happen and turnovers are going to happen, but I did everything in my power to keep that from becoming a thing in my life. Because once you start throwing them, it's like one after another. I threw 4 picks in a game one time. We still won the game. I don't know how. It might have been 3 or 4 versus the Cleveland Browns in 2012. And, it was a season filled with interceptions and turnovers, but uncharacteristic. So I think Patrick can clean it up. Decision-making got to be at an all-time high.
And it's not the decision-making, it's that little hitch in the giddy-up, right? Because if you're not just letting it rip when you see it, you give it a little hitch.
If you don't have time to throw it.
Interception.
If you don't have time to throw it, a lot of throws are going to be errant throws. A lot of play going to look sporadic.
Yep.
And that's just the truth of the matter.
Yep. Now, that was one of the more intriguing picks of the week, Kansas City versus Giants. What's interesting about that game, Kansas City still favored by 10 points, point total 52. I'm going to take the Chiefs there. I think I've been waiting for them to rally. They rallied a couple other weeks. I really am not a big believer on the Giants. I don't know what's kind of, I don't know. I watched the Giants game with some New York friends last week. I tell you what, New Yorkers hate the Giants and the Jets. It seems like all they want to do is hate on them, even though they love them. But, they're tough.
I mean, it's just tough crowds from the tri-state area alone. Tough crowd. Philly, Jersey, New York.
Who do you like there, Kansas City or New York?
I'm going to say this. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of what's going on in Kansas City. I'm looking for them to turn it around, Dave. I mean, Monday night, give you some time to think about this. You got a long week, time to fix some things, and go on a stretch of games, a winning streak until you reach your bye.
Yeah, I hear that, man. People forget that Tampa Bay had a rough start to last year, and they won too. So there's a long.
They turned it around, so let's not count them out.
Only 8 weeks left. All right, so you got Mike and Dave both on the Kansas City side of that game. Our primetime pick this week, which is we're getting a lot of this game's getting a lot of attention, unfortunately, for coronavirus and COVID-19 issues. Packers at the Cardinals. Yeah. Another team who is getting some earning that respect you talk about now that they're 7-0, Arizona -6, right? Probably the last 4 or 5 weeks or when this was week 4 or 5, they wouldn't have been favored. People just would have said, Aaron Rodgers, quote unquote, owns this team as well.
Yeah.
But Arizona -6 favored. Green Bay's got a defensive coordinator out, Devontae Adams out. I think Alan Lazard just went out. There's gonna be some weird issues with some of the receivers that hang out in the room. I don't know how they make those decisions. Don't ask me.
And I don't know how they beat Arizona without those 2 guys.
Yeah, right. So
I don't
defensive
coordinator Lazard and without Adams, we might as well keep you moving to the next subject. But we can talk about it.
Well, here's what we're going to talk about because I think I find this interesting, especially from a receiver's perspective. I'm curious. So when players go out, typically quarterbacks lines move, meaning, hey, this team was favored by, let's go back to the day. Oh, Atlanta Falcons, Michael Vick starting. Okay, they're favored by 7 points. Holy smokes, Michael Vick's sick. He's not playing. All of a sudden, the line shifts, right? They're not going to be the same anymore. With Matt Schaub, as much as I love him, it wouldn't be the same. So the thing here, Green Bay, I'm curious what your guess is. I got the line in front of me, so I can't play this game. Devontae Adams leaves. How many points do you think he's worth? Now I'm gonna give you a little help here because don't forget some of the bigger spread jumps are 3s, 7s, 10s, 14. So follow natural football if you're going to get in between those things. What kind of a point spread? How many points do you think Adams is worth to this game?
I think he worth 7 points
Well,
to the game.
then you need to bet on the Arizona Cardinals because they only moved
Yeah.
it basically 3. They moved
Okay.
it. They moved it a field goal. So you're right in sticking with the 3s, the 7s, the 10s.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm with you. But I think I would listen to you even more. And I'm glad you said 7 because I feel like your best receiver, when they're out, it restructures your entire offense.
Yeah.
And tell me what the Packers are doing Tuesday through Saturday now that with their best receiver out. How do you attack differently? What can we expect to see out of Green Bay that we wouldn't normally see?
More run. I think they'll use Aaron Jones more in the passing game. I think they'll run the ball with them more effectively. He's a great runner, and they do a great job of run blocking. And then he'll become the focal point of the game. I don't want to give away their game plan. And I'm not sitting here saying I know what they're going to do. But if I was Matt LaFleur, I would be thinking about more Aaron Jones, getting them out in space. I mean, watching the New Orleans Saints last night, the way they use their running backs, I think a lot of coaches around the country need to go watch the way Sean Payton used Alvin Kamara last night. Totally different story. But running backs can win a football game, and I think that's what happened last night, and that's what can happen in this game.
And I'm wrong here. They don't have that long to practice. They're on the Thursday night football game. So it will be simplified. Probably even more reason to include your running back guys you know are going to play. Do you go double tight end sets and take away some of Aaron Rodgers' abilities in those 3 wide sets or whatnot? Do you change personnel groupings or you stay same personnel?
I think the most important part about this situation is that Aaron Rodgers is a veteran quarterback. So Aaron can come into a game and he can chip away at your defense. Like, he don't need chunks. What Devontae Adams add is a big play element. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers need that because I've seen him without Devontae Adams before. I've seen him without star receivers, and I know he can still, manage the game in a way where he's still effective and everybody else in the offense is effective. So I don't just necessarily count them out. I just don't think it helped their chances of winning that Devontae Adams is out.
Do you think they can overcome Arizona? Do you like their chances to win? Do you like their chances just to cover? So they got to get within 6 to cover, or do you think they can win?
I like the fact that they will cover. I think they will cover. And in terms of their chances to win, no.
Yeah.
I don't think they win without Devontae Adams. I feel like this game for Arizona is a statement game too. Like, yeah, we're 7-0 and we beat some good opponents, but this is who we're going to face down the road.
Yeah.
We can get a mulligan on this.
I feel like this is going to be Arizona's up 10 points going into the 4th quarter. They go back and forth a little bit, touchdown here, touchdown there. It's a 10, it's a 3 game, it's a 10 game. And then I feel like, maybe, Green Bay kicks a field goal or it maybe doesn't cover. That's what I'm worried about, but might score. So I'm with you. I don't think they win. I'm not even sure if they cover yet. I would wait till right before Thursday night to see where that line is, to see what we want to do there. Because there's a lot of questions, especially with the amount of guys out with COVID and who's practicing. So I'd pay attention to that stuff before I put any money down.
Absolutely.
That's a Thursday night football game. Sunday night football, Cowboys at the Vikings. Cowboys coming off a bye week. Vikings, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched them play a lot of football. I just been reading about.
They've been playing good.
I'm reading about Gary Kubiak's son, Clint Kubiak, calling plays over there. It's hilarious seeing that guy calling plays. He was a little peon intern when I was with the Texans. Now he's in the booth, the man in the booth. Nice. Dallas -2.5. So they're favored, not even by a field goal yet. At Minnesota, Sunday night football. That place will be rocking. Not cold enough to where people don't show up yet, or I don't think that's such a thing in Minnesota. Yeah. But that'll be an interesting game. Cowboys, I don't know. Like, are they a for real team? Like, are they is anyone scared of them anymore? Like, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure. Yes.
I'm gonna just name a couple names.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start with the most important person. Dak Prescott. Goes without saying. Zeke. Okay. CeeDee Lamb. Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Randy Gregory. I mean, the list goes on and on.
I feel like they always have talent.
Players. I mean, but they playing up to the superstar talent. They playing to superstar level, Dave. I'm talking about, man. They coming into games knowing that they're gonna win, not hoping that they're gonna win. I always felt like Dallas come in with a little ego, a little pride, a little attitude, but now it's like Dak get the ball and it's like he do what he want to do.
You know what I'm going to look for? I need to go find some Michael Vick clips where you're talking shit to defenses because I want to hear.
Oh, you can find a lot. Oh yeah, I mean, I let it be known that I was on the field. You best believe that day. I let it be known.
Because I'm like, why are you so nice to Dallas? Like, I feel like, and maybe it's because I was with the Texans.
I love good football.
I love good football.
Yeah, so if it's I ain't gonna come in between that little thing that you got going on with them, Dave, because I'm calling it how I see it.
They call them America's team. They're barely Northern Texas's team, right? Like, they're such a joke. We used to give them so much trash for that. I mean, you guys are garbage. You don't win. They barely win more than Houston.
Let me say this. I whipped up on them a lot too, man. When I was in Philly, I whipped up on them a lot. Now, when I was in Atlanta, I'm going to be honest. I misquoted myself a couple of years ago. But when I was in Philly, I gave them fits. So I didn't necessarily like the Cowboys for a lot of different reasons. One, they was a divisional rival, but so there's no bias there. I'm saying all that to say that.
What is the funniest thing you said to an opponent? Like you don't have to tell me the time you got someone the best, and you don't have to name names. So you can just start with a team. But did you have any moments where you're like, "Ooh, that was good"? Like where you're like, "I got him."
Yeah, somebody was talking to me that we was playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, and in my right mind, if I seen this dude on the street, I probably wouldn't even try him. He's 6'5", yoked up.
Yep.
He made a nice sack and he went crazy, and I got up and I was like, "Man, who are you?" Like, I don't know your name. That's a classic. That's a classic statement to hit somebody with in the NFL.
Yeah,
that really like belittle somebody.
Oh yeah.
So I hit him with that, but it was my first time really getting caught up in the moment emotionally and letting somebody have it, and it crushed his feelings, so it hurt him. It definitely hurt him.
I once heard Andre Johnson pull that out. He said, "Hey, turn around." He's like, "What?" He goes, "I don't even know your name. I need to know your last name. Turn around." And I was crying, laughing. I was like, "Oh, that's
to your face.
That's
to your face.
Let me read the name on your back.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know who you are." I could say the funniest thing that happened to me was we're playing the Oakland Raiders, and we call it truck series, which is down, down, around. So if you ever see the receiver or tight end come in and block a defensive end, they pitch the ball and they run around. Well, I was sneaky good at some of those blocks. So I would come in on 2nd and 7, boom, run the truck, and they get around because no one ever thought I was doing it.
Right.
I line up and we're playing the Oakland Raiders. Speaking of unbelievably athletic teams who didn't care, big old boy who just came over from the Patriots. I know, totally spacing on his name. He played for the Patriots forever, and then
Roland Seymour.
Yes, Seymour looks at me. And he points at me, he goes, run this way. And I was like, no, it's not. And
It's the other way.
You see me on the film going like this. You see Matt Schaub looks at me and I'm like this. Go change it. Go set it the other way. And he's like, it's coming this way. I was like, oh, they hike it. He just picks me up, puts me in the backfield. Andre Johnson's laughing, runs out of the way. And Arian Foster gets blown up 5 years behind the line of scrimmage. I'm like, no, it's not. No, I'm literally saying out loud, no, it's not. No, it's not. Get out.
It's going that way. You knew what you was getting into. Ain't nothing like knowing when it's about to happen.
I'm like, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be just like you mentioned. I would never pick a fight.
We gotta find that clip.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I'll look for it. Cowboys. Some funny thing, I always give them a lot of crap. A little known fact, I remember I dropped on you back on one of the first weeks. They are the most overbet team in sports. Meaning,
I can see that.
Meaning, everyone in Dallas and Texas and all over, they have a huge fan base. Everyone wants to just bet on the Cowboys to win, so they'll be happy. It shows that they have a ton of fans everywhere because typically a fan, regardless of who they are, will bet on them. But they're 6-0 against the spread this year, which means people aren't giving enough credit for how good they are. And maybe I'm one of those people. But that's those are our primetime picks of the week. The Betting Academy I alluded to earlier. The term of the week is exotic. Now, I have a couple phrases to how to remember this. I don't think any of them are politically correct, so we're going to stay away from them. But when you think of exotic, just think about out there or different or something that like I don't know, makes you wonder, right? And that's pretty much what all this is. It's a funny sounding way to put it, and it really just means non-money line or point total bets. So a lot of times we call them prop bets, stuff like that. Those are just your exotic bets, right? So typically Titans at Colts, the Derrick Henry prop bets are your exotic bets of the week. And so
I like these.
One of the ones we're going to go over, and what I think what would be a great way to describe exotic was, will any player break the regular season rushing yards record this year? Which basically means, is Derrick Henry going to break the regular season rushing record this year?
Yeah.
First thing to remember, we all know, is there's an extra game this season.
Right.
Second thing is the guy's a beast, and so can he keep it up? Right. My what I fear about all these big guys is they just get hit in the legs 1,000 times, and it's tough for them to do it. But God bless, it is amazing seeing a 247-pound man running 21 miles per hour down the field. Like, talk about, maybe we should put him on the Paris Saint-Germain team. But anyway, no minus 450, yes plus 450. So you basically, you get a good value if you think he can get there. He's halfway there. He needs to average 123 yards a game to get there. He's averaging 124 right now. Last year, he averaged 126. Yeah. So can he keep it up is basically the question. Do you think Derrick Henry
so.
Race the record run?
Yeah, because there's going to be some games where he might go 90, but it's going to be some games where he might go 161, or 180, or 148. Like, he's known for that. The one thing about Derrick Henry, we know, he's a big play guy. He's going to break one. He's patient, but he's going to break one. And he got deceptive speed, and it shows at the right times.
I think my only comment was going to be, he's a home run hitter, right? Like, I think Tennessee, when I was playing, it was Chris Johnson, right? Like, he's got 2 yards here, 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 92-yard touchdown, right? Like, it was amazing watching him play. And Derrick Henry's the same way. You're like, oh, like, he didn't do anything this week. Oh, except that he ran for an 82-yard touchdown, right? And was dominating people. And it can happen at any time. They have enough powerful guys as receivers that end up being like tight ends downfield. Like, when you got Julio and AJ Brown, people forget how important it is to have receivers. If you want big plays, you need receivers that are chasing down DBs. Otherwise, someone makes a tackle every time. That was always that was always what impressed me about Marshall Faulk. Isaac Bruce and those guys, they didn't want to block, and he was still running forever. You guys, some of these big dudes out there, they're like tight ends.
There were certain receivers we couldn't keep in because they couldn't block.
Do you think this 18-game or 18th week, 17-game season matters in terms of record books? Like, do you look at it differently?
It is what it is. I think, 50 years from now, we're not going to be talking about, that year it shifted from 16 games to 17 games. We don't talk about back in the day when it was 13 games or 14 games. I don't even know. All I know is 16. Yeah. All we're going to know is 17. So, yes, everything counts. The playoffs are a different entity, but the regular season is its own entity. So now you got an extra game to do it. And that's why I think it's possible for him to crack 2,000.
That's why I always say it's my excuse why all my college records are broken, is because they play 2 more games and now they throw the ball 1,000 times more a season. Yeah. It's sad.
Oh, it's the reason. It's the reason Lamar's gonna crush my rushing record. I mean, the game is different. Like, runs are being designed different. It's schemed up different. So that record is not gonna stand for too much longer.
No, it's I think you're right. You know what I mean? Like, we can't be grumpy old men just hating on the younger generation on their cell phones.
Yeah, it's the evolution of the game.
We got to be okay with it.
We played the game so it could be a better game, and that's what we got.
It's funny. Like, I remember Kyle Shanahan used to break out some old 80s 49ers footage to show us certain routes, like where they came from. Yeah. Dude, these guys were Jerry Rice was putting his dirt in the sand when he first started.
Yeah, like he was in a 3-point stance.
A 3-point stance.
Running the slant.
Someone must have said, let's press them. Like, let's just, that must have been the reason why they took their hand out. Because to me, I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, like press him, shove his head right in the dirt.
You know, I did that on scout team for, when you have the backside for the love of the game. I put my hand in the dirt. Coach Kubiak said, if you ever do this again, I'll cut you. I was like, oh, come on.
Oh, man, yeah, he killed that quick.
I was in.
Never did it again.
No, I'm good. I'll run it for the love of the game. I'm all right. That was good. That was me being in fantasy land. Look at this segue.
Yeah.
Now we're going to fantasy football. Boom. The fantasy football week 7, 2 W's by Mr. Dave Anderson and Mr. Mike Vick. I defeated Ray Lewis, and I was sitting watching football with my friends, and they're like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "I'm beating Ray Lewis right now. I'm pretty proud of it." But I'm pretty sure he hasn't checked his roster in 2 weeks, so I can't be that proud of it. But I was pretty proud of. I was pretty proud of beating Ray Lewis. Just even it is what it counts. You know what I mean? It counts.
Yeah, it counts.
It counts towards the victory.
I mean, look, you got to do your due diligence.
You, on the other hand, also beat KG, who was number 1, who took over from me. So I appreciate you got me back up at the top. The funniest thing that happened though, for all our followers, a lot of you know Tate Frazier. He's Commissioner Tate Leo Blue. He was playing Paul Pierce, and he thought he was going to be funny and call out Paul Pierce on Twitter and said, "Hey, why don't you set your roster so I can beat you fair and square?" Don't poke the bear, Mike Vick.
Don't do that.
Don't poke the bear. He's got plenty of time. He took a rip of that hookah, set his locker, jumped in it, gave Tate the business. Gave Tate the business. And he came back, Paul Pierce, manager of the week again. So it's ridiculous. But I got a big matchup this week. In week 8, I'm playing KG. You got Davis, who's listening to us. So make sure you set your roster so we can talk some shit to Davis next week. Make sure you got to pay attention to the bye weeks. This is when it gets tough. This is when you make or break your team, because you're like, oh crap, I need an extra running back. Oh, my quarterback's out. Who do I play? Just teaching everybody out here. Make sure you're paying attention. Set your rosters early. Watch out for Thursday night games. Get your roster right. But the way we always end this show, I think I've liked really kind of taking in some of your pointers to get my all-in bets. And I always tell our listeners, not always, like I think we have 1 million followers now, so we got to really be careful out there. Really
shout out to the followers, man.
I was thinking, don't cherry pick advice is what I always tell people if they're listening for advice on bets or whatnot. Because if you do that, you're just listening for something to back up something that you're already looking for. Listen for something that either contradicts what you have to say or that brings a new perspective and makes you go, oh, that maybe I should include that type of perspective in what I'm thinking, right? And so it give you a little more confidence, because it's always good to play a little devil's advocate and all people. But we like to end with the all-in bet. Whether it's a prop, a spread, a point total, a game prop, you and I always favor the totals and who's playing who. Who do you got this week for your all-in bet?
My all-in bet, Dallas over Minnesota. It's on the road, right?
Yep.
Dallas on the road.
Dallas on the road.
Yeah, because you spoke about it. Oh, they going, and I think they smashed the Vikings. I mean, I'm talking Dak on top of his game. Looking good right now. Talking about at times looking about like Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage. Moving guys, changing protections, shift, you block, you everything. I mean, so along with the defense, and let me just go about them real quick, playing fast. I love what Dan Quinn is doing. Kirk Cousins has been playing some good football, and I can't take that away from him. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, those guys are coming into their own. And it's great to see. But can they defend their real estate versus the Dallas Cowboys? I don't think so, because the Dallas Cowboys red hot.
One question for you. I hear a lot of people say playing fast.
Yeah.
What do you dig dig it a little deeper. What do you mean when someone's playing fast? Like they're all fast. They all run 4
everybody
4
fast,
4
right?
3. What do you mean playing fast?
So you can take your mind, right, and envision how the game gonna go. Am I right?
Yeah.
Because I know you've done it before.
Yep.
So in my mind, I know the offense, I know the scheme, but I got the talent to match what my coach asking me to do. He asking me, to be a 3 technique and shoot the gap heel. He asking me to, play man coverage, press coverage. Oh, that's what I do. I know how to play press. I know how to play 2 versus what I'm seeing. And when you can take what you know and match it up with your talent, oh man, you could just play free.
Yeah.
I can sleep good at night.
Yeah.
A lot of the Dallas Cowboys on defense, they're sleeping good at night because they know exactly what they're about to see, and then they can let their bodies react and they can just think it through. So it's just mind, it's mind, body, soul, man. I ain't trying to get too deep, but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
It's the mind and the body.
I always just wonder because it's a term that's often used to describe defenses, also offenses. They're playing fast. And I don't think enough people dig into deep in that what it means to someone like you, someone like me, because I think there's slight differences when you watch someone play fast. I'm on the same page. To me, it's tough to tell. You got to watch a lot of football or one player in particular throughout a game to really pick it off. You can't be a ball watcher, right? You can't just follow the ball and expect to see a team playing fast.
Oh man, you're gonna get left.
Yeah, you got to see a certain player that doesn't look like he's flinching, that doesn't look like he's hesitating, that doesn't look like he's guessing, that doesn't look out of position ever.
Yeah.
He looks like he's imposing his will on someone else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be the fastest player. It just means playing fast, which means deciding fast. And then you're right. When your body's into it and you're fresh and you are actually running fast is when you got a chance to be a Pro Bowler, really.
Being decisive. Yes.
Exactly.
I'm not to get off script, but Joe Burrow, I was making some notes the other day, and I just said to myself, what's standing out? He's decisive. Ball coming out, playing the game.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned, because for my all-in bet, I'm going to go with the Bengals. You know what I mean? I had to. I told you at the top of the show, I might have someone I don't know I'm listening. I always go in with 2, listen, make a decision. The Bengals, I think just like we talked about it, aren't getting a lot of respect. They're earning respect. They're playing fast.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated when a rookie can play fast, right? Jamar Chase, a guy that has the confidence to catch a pass, stay on his feet like he has in all these weeks, take those hits and still finish a run. Looks like something out of a spring football game where no one wants to really tackle you or something. Where he is now imposing his physicalness on the defense. And now everyone is going to have to start being aware of where he is and preparing. It'll be interesting to see how people start game planning them, right? So the Bengals are going to have to get around this. It's not going to be as easy as it is, right? It's going to get harder and harder every week. Just like you mentioned, every year in your career, it's harder to stay in the NFL. Every week you're in the NFL, everyone's preparing for you, and they got more film to watch. They know what you're good at this year, and they try to take it away. But I'm all in on the Bengals versus the Jets, mainly because I think the Jets are just being very Jet-like. They're not getting it together. They're still making stupid mistakes. They obviously are I don't know what they're going to do with quarterback.
Down.
I don't know what they're going to do with quarterback. Seems like Flacco might came in. Do they think he can save the day? Can he call a play? Is he just there to be an emergency backup? I'm not sure. But I think the Bengals roll the Jets pretty easily. That's my all-in bet of the week. And I'm excited to see them at 6-2 at the top of the AFC North, see what happens the rest of the week. But all in there, you got it. I'm excited to see this week 8. We're finally creeping into the second half of the season, right? We're gonna time will tell, but we're gonna see who's really the heroes and the zeros, as they say. I kind of want to see the Cowboys get beat, so I want your all in to fail. That's just me. But you know what? If they do fail, we can always watch some Paris Saint-Germain in Liga 1. Watch some soccer. Me and Michael.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Messi.
We should put our fantasy before the year's done. We're gonna put our fantasy football to football team together. I'll put who would your 3 forwards be? I think I literally might take Michael Vick, Barry Sanders, and Alvin Kamara, and put you 3 up front. Put Reggie Bush. I mean, we could put together amazing. You got like Terrell Owens, you want there playing defense. And if you guys only grew up with a soccer ball, we'd be all right.
Yeah, we'd be champions.
We would have won some World Cups. But hey, I'm Dave Anderson. That's Mike Vick. That's it for the Gaming Society football show today. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure to sign up and subscribe at thegamingsociety.com and hit that follow button at The Gaming Society on all social platforms.